It's the same as usual, trying to find your comfortable position. If you're seated, trying to sit a little bit more upright, just to see if you can open up the space at the front, encouraging a little bit more movement into the belly, encouraging that diaphragmatic breathing. If I'm lying down, keeping the legs straight or bending the knees, whatever feels more comfortable for the hips and the legs, allowing the arms to open out to the side, palms turn to face up and towards the ceiling, feeling the shoulder rolling out, the front of the chest opening up. So nice and open across the collarbones, nice and open across the front of the chest. And then same as usual, doing that initial scan of the body, just noticing where the body is and how it feels. Am I straight? Am I wonky? Am I slightly twisted? Am I slightly leaning to one side or the other? Is the pressure the same between the left and the right side, or is it different? And then at the same time, start focusing on the breath. So see if you can get that natural, relaxed breath coming down into the belly. So feeling the belly expanding on the inhalation and relaxing on the exhalation. I'm not forcing the breath, just to see if I can relax into it. And as you feel the breath starts feeling a little bit more settled, starts feeling a little bit more relaxed, I'm going to start focusing on the shoulder girdle. I'm going to shrug the shoulders up to the head. I'm going to pull them up to my ears, and then I'm going to press them down and away. I'm going to pull them up and then press them down. So picturing your shoulder blades at the back, sliding up and down the back of the rib cage. So see if I can picture the shoulder blade trying to get some movement against the back of the rib cage, just to see if I can unglue everything that is just kind of got stuck at the back. As you start pressing the shoulders down, see if you can think of a nice gentle pull coming down the side of the neck, almost as if this neck was becoming a little bit longer. And then as I feel the movement starts getting a little bit easier, then I'm going to start getting the neck a little bit more involved. As I shrug the shoulders up to the head, I'm going to drop the chin down towards the chest, as I'm going to round and hunch a little bit at the front. As I depress the shoulders, as I press the shoulders down and away, I'm going to try and pull away, and then I'm going to try and lift the chin just slightly up and towards the ceiling. Then I'm going to again shrug the shoulders, press the chin down into the chest, and then depressing the shoulders, lifting the chin up. And then I'm going to press down. So big movement, little movement. If I'm lying down, as the head is coming away from the floor, you might want to support it with your hands. So I'm just going to use the hands at the back of the legs, at the back of the head, supporting the head as I shrug and lift up. And then I'm just going to depress and open up. Then again, I'm going to shrug and lift up, and then depress and open up. So I feel a little bit more used to the movement. And then this is where we change it, where we reverse it. What I want is to tuck the chin in when I depress the shoulders. So this time I wanted the head to stay on the floor if I'm lying down. I'm going to depress the shoulders and then tuck the chin in, so lengthening the back of the neck. And then as I shrug the shoulders, I'm going to try and look behind. So I'm going to press down the shoulders, tuck the chin into the back of the throat, and then shrug the shoulders, and then I'm going to look up. If I'm sitting up, exactly the same, but in reverse, I'm going to tuck the chin into the back of the throat, pressing the shoulders down. So see if I can feel length at the back of the neck. And then I'm going to shrug the shoulders, and then I'm going to try and look up. I'm going to press the shoulders down, tuck the chin towards the back of the throat. And then I'm going to shrug the shoulders and then look up. 3, 2, last one. And releasing back, releasing the shoulders, releasing the neck. It's a little bit more movement through the shoulder girdle. I'm going to change the direction of the movement slightly. This time I'm going to elevate just one shoulder. So I'm going to shrug the right shoulder up to the head and then press it down, shrug the left, press it down, shrug the right, press it down, shrug the left, press it down. So the same movement as before, but this time I'm going to focus on one side at a time. Again, noticing difference between the right and the left side. I should know by now if one side feels a little bit more restricted, a little bit stickier, I'm going to focus on that side. And then I'm going to start getting the neck involved. This time, instead of flexion extension, I'm going to work into lateral flexion. So on the next one, as I shrug the right shoulder up to the ear, I'm going to drop the ear to the shoulder. So I'm going to try and bring the two nice and close together. Then I'm going to depress. I'm going to shrug the left shoulder up and then drop the left ear down. He's back. So right ear to the right shoulder, left ear to the left shoulder. See if I can try and bring them together, side to side. Same as usual, making sure that it doesn't matter if the movement is small, just making sure that it's not causing pain. So there is no pain coming down the arms, there's no tingling into the fingers, so no referred pain. And then there is no pain on the neck. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and easing back. Then reversing the effort this time as I depress the right shoulder, I'm going to pull the right ear away. So I'm going to try and stretch that side of the neck. Then as I depress the left shoulder, I'm going to pull the ear away, stretching the other way. So I'm going to press down on the right shoulder, pull away the right ear, press down on the left shoulder, pull away the left. So feeling a little stretch coming down the side of the neck, the same as before, making sure that I'm not forcing, I'm not exaggerating. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing back, giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll. It's a little bit more movement at the top. I'm going to start coming down through the middle, the center of the body. I'm going to start off with a little rotation. So raising the arms up to the front, I'm going to keep the hands apart or keep the hands together. And then I'm just going to start off with a nice, easy swing side to side. So swinging the arms over one way, coming back, swinging the other way. So nice, easy rotation. This time, see if I can focus on the thoracic spine, on the middle of the back. So see if I can really try to relax through the middle. If I'm seated, I'm going to use the space. So I'm going to try and turn as far around as the back will allow me, as far around the other way. If I'm laying down, if I want to encourage a little bit more stretch, with the arm that is underneath, I could pull onto the top arm to create a little bit more stretch behind the shoulder. And then as I reach the other way, I'm going to pull the other arm. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, releasing the shoulders and releasing the upper body. It's a little bit more movement through the thoracic spine. I'm going to change the direction of the movement slightly. I'm going to go into a little lateral flexion. So if I'm laying down, I'm going to support the head with one hand. I'm going to lift the head and the shoulder just slightly off the ground so they don't drag along. And then with the free hand, I'm going to reach down the side, pulling down the side to see if I can create that tension on the side of the belly. Then I'm going to switch the arms and then I'm going to pull down the other way. Switch the arm and then pull down the other way. So in a nice and easy lateral flexion, see if I can get the obliques involved, the side of the belly involved. If I'm seated, I don't need to support the head. I'm just going to flex it down one way and then I'm going to pull back to middle. Flex down the other way, and then pull back to middle. And then as you're doing the flexion, see if you can picture that there's two sets of pulleys down the side. So I'm just going to lengthen it to flex to the side, and then I'm going to tighten it to bring myself back. Then I'm going to lengthen it the other way to flex it to the side, and then tense it to bring it back to the center. If you're seated, remember the tendency is to start coming forward over the legs. See if you can try and keep upright. So imagine to be sitting with your back against the chair or against the wall. See if I can keep my shoulders, my back against the wall as I'm moving from side to side. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back, resetting yourself back to the middle, a little bit more connection down the side, more movement into the lower back, into the upper back. I'm going to focus on the lower back. So starting off with a little hip hitch. So I'm going to stay on the side of the belly. I'm going to try and hitch the right side of the hip up to the ribs. So I'm going to try and pull up on the right side, ease back, pull up on the left side, and then ease back. So if I'm seated, imagine to be lifting your seat bone off the chair. So I'm going to try and pull my right seat bone up and away from the chair, pull my left seat bone up and away from the chair. And then see if I can still be aware of the tension down the side, but instead of pulling me down into the hip this time, is pulling the hip up towards the rib cage instead. If I'm laying down, I'm just going to keep the hips flat against the mat and then try to see if I can hitch the right side up, come back, hitch the left side up, and then back. So noticing the difference in tension between the right and the left. On one side of the movement might be feeling stronger, easier. On the other side might feel a little bit more restricted. I'm just going to try and see if I can do the best I can both ways. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back to the middle. So lower back a little bit looser, obliques a little bit more connected. This time I'm going to try and bring the tension into the front of the belly. So I'm just going to go for a nice, easy pelvic tilt. So I'm going to tilt the pelvis back, pressing the lower back down into the mat, feeling the belly tensing to curl the pubic bone up towards the belly button. Then I'm going to go back into neutral. So I'm going to tilt the pelvis. I'm going to try and draw the pubic bone up towards the belly button. And then I'm going to ease back. So gently massaging the lower back and then see if I can find that connection into the front of the belly. If I'm seated exactly the same, I'm just going to picture the hips. I'm going to try and roll back towards the back of the seat bones, towards the tailbone, and then I'm going to try and pull myself up nice and tall. I'm going to tilt the pelvis and roll back onto the back of the seat bones, and then up onto the very tip of the seat bones and nice and tall. Using the arms to offer a little support if I need to do so. If I'm seated, the effort is mostly not on the tilt, as that working with gravity, so I don't need to pull, I just need to let my weight drop down. The effort is when I lift up. So as I lift up, I'm putting my corset on tighter through the middle to allow me to lift, to allow me to support myself a little bit higher. And then I'm going to tilt back again. 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, releasing the hips, so releasing the lower back. It's a little bit more movement and a little bit more connection. I'm going to see if I can stay with that front load, with that front connection. This time I'm going to try and focus on the legs. First thing, I want the hip flexors. I want the front of the hip to start biting, to start tensing, to start twitching. So I'm just going to try and see if I can get it to twitch, get it to grip, get it to bite. If I'm standing, if I'm seated, I'm just going to put both hands or one hand on top of the thigh. So I'm just going to push down gently. If I'm laying down, putting the hand on the thigh might be a bit too far, so it might not be good for the neck. So what I could do is use the ball or the pillow between the leg and the hand. So I don't need to reach that far. And then I can push onto the leg gently that way. What I'm going to do is push with the right hand or left hand, it doesn't matter, down onto the right thigh. So I'm going to push down on the right leg, and at the same time, I'm going to try and lift that leg against the hand. So I'm going to try and tense the front of the hip. So the arm is trying to push my leg down and the leg is trying to lift away. Then I'm going to relax. So I'm going to push with the hands and then trying to pull with the leg and relax. So see if I can find the connection right into the front of the hip. What I want is just to be able to feel the hip kind of like locking and fighting against the arm slightly. I'm not trying too heavy. I'm not trying too hard. So I'm going to try and pull up on that right, relax, pull up on the right and relax. As you're trying to create that pressure, the tension, see if you can notice what's happening to the belly as well. As I try to pull the leg up against the pressure down of the hand, I can feel not just to the front of the hip, but I can also feel the front of the belly bracing to help me create that lift. So see if I can focus on the belly and the hip working together. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and release. Relaxing the hip, releasing the leg. So there's a little bit more connection into the right hip. I'm going to allow the right leg to relax and move on to the left side. The left hand goes onto the leg, the pillow, the ball between the hand and the leg if I feel that I'm overreaching a bit. And then I'm just going to try and push the left leg up into the left hand and then relax. So I'm going to hold with the arm or push with the arm, pull with the leg. So see if I can first try to find the connection through the front of the hip. So feeling that nice gentle tension, locking the hip, creating that tension at the front. And then once that I'm aware that that tension is there, I'm going to try and focus on the belly. Can I also feel the belly kind of like bracing gently every time that I try to pull the leg up? Can I feel that tension deep into the belly that is allowing me to stabilize that tension, to stabilize that push? 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, releasing the hip, relaxing the leg. It's a little bit more tension there. I'm going to try and see if I can now start lifting the leg. So if you need a little support, you can put the band around the back of the right leg so that I can use the arms to assist a little bit. If I'm seated, I can even hook the hands around the leg as it's close enough to grab hold of it. And then what I want this time is to see if I can be aware of that same tension at the front of the hip. So imagine the hand to still be pushing onto the thigh. I'm going to pull up on the right leg. See if this time I can get the foot to lift away from the ground. And then I'm just going to pop it back down. Again, I'm going to try and pull it up and then let it come down. It could be a big lift, it could be a little lift. It doesn't really matter, but see if I can still be aware of the tension into the front of the hip and into the front of the belly, helping me to get the leg to come away from the ground. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, releasing the hip, releasing the leg. I'm going to try exactly the same thing with the left side. It's the same as before. I'm going to put the band around the left leg if I need that little support, or using the hands around the back of the leg if that works best for me. And then same as on the other side, I'm just going to try and pull up on the leg. So remembering the same effort as before, when your hand was pushing down onto the leg, see if I can picture the hand still being there. I'm trying to push against the hand and relax. Push against the hand and relax. So little lift, a big lift again. It doesn't matter. See if I can concentrate on the tension into the front of the hip and the little assistance, tension into the front of the belly too. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and releasing back, relaxing the hip, releasing the leg. It's a little bit more connection. I'm going to try and find the same connection again, but this time I'm going to try and see if I can use a slightly different feedback, as one might be working better than the other. So this time I'm going to focus on the right leg again. And then instead of trying to pull the leg off the ground, I'm going to try and push the leg into the ground. So I'm going to push down with the right leg as hard as I can, and then I'm going to relax. I'm going to push as hard as I can and relax. As you're pushing into the leg as hard as you can, see if you can be aware of a generalized tension coming up the leg. But I can feel the front of the thigh. I can still feel the front of the hip. I might be able to feel a little bit onto the back of the leg and into the back of the bum, but I can feel the joints locking at the top to allow me to press down. If you're seated, you might find that as you push down into the right leg, you tend to lean forward as well. That's absolutely fine. So imagine to be leaning forward to stand on that leg. If I'm laying down, the leg is a little bit too far. So what I want is to try and focus on the hip locking and the back of the bum tensing a little bit more. 5, 4, 3, 2. On the next one, I'm going to push down. I'm going to hold the pressure. 5, 4, 3, 2. Try to pull away now. Then I'm going to drop the foot down again. Push down, hold the pressure. 5, 4, 3, 2, and pull away now. 3 more. Push down with the right leg. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull away. 2 left. Push down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull away. Last time. Push down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull away. And relaxing that leg. Relaxing the hip, releasing the thigh. I'm going to try the same on the left side. So same as I did on the right, I'm just going to push down on the left foot as hard as I can and relax, push down and relax. So same as on the other side, if I'm laying down, I can feel a little bit more activation down the left side of the body. I can feel the back of the bum, I can feel the back of the leg. I can feel the hip joint locking to allow me to press down on the foot, to allow me to push down on the mat. If I'm seated up, same as on the other side, I might find that as I push down on the left leg, I can feel myself almost like a slightly leaning forward into it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then on the next one, I'm going to push down, hold the pressure. 5, 4, 3, 2. Try to pull away. Then again, dropping down, push down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Try to pull away. 3 more. Push down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull away. Last time. Push down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull away and releasing back. Relaxing the hip, releasing the leg. I'm going to stay with the pushes, but this time see if I can try and find a better connection into the back of the hips, into the back of the bum. So I'm going to reset the feet a comfortable distance, and then I'm going to start pushing down on both feet. So if I'm seated, imagine to be wanting to lift off the chair. So I'm going to push down through the feet. I'm going to squeeze with the back of the bum, and then maybe holding onto the chair, holding onto a desk. If you've got something in front of you, I'm going to try and see if I can lean forward slightly and then lift slightly off. And then I'm going to sit back down again. So see if I can try and feed the weight, as much weight as possible, into the feet, into the legs. If I'm lying down, I'm going to gradually start lifting up into bridge. So pushing down through the soles of the feet, I'm going to try and squeeze the hips off the ground to see if I can maybe get the lower back to lift, then the back of the rib cage until I'll be up onto the back of the shoulders, no weight into the neck. And then I'm just going to ease my way down gradually. So I'm going to squeeze my way up, feeling the back of the bum and the back of the leg loading a little bit more this time. And then I'm just going to ease and control my way down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 more, 7, last one, 8. And releasing back, giving the legs a little walk, hugging the knees into the chest if I'm laying down, making sure that the back doesn't feel stiff, doesn't feel compressed. What I want is to try and reinforce that tension. So to do so, I'm going to try and see if I can get a little bit more connection through the inner thigh to help me stabilize the hip a little bit better. So I'm going to grab hold of my ball, my pillow, and put it between the knees. If I'm laying down, if I'm seated up, I can use the ball, or I can maybe just clench the fist and then put them between the inner thighs if I don't have a pillow, if I don't have a ball or a towel that I can use. And then from there, I'm just going to walk the feet a little bit closer together, and then I'm just going to start pressing into the ball. And then I'm going to release the pressure. So see if you can be aware this time of the tension on the inside of the leg. So deep into the inner thigh, into the groin. Noticing difference between the right and the left side, as one side is normally stronger, so that will tend to push harder to do the hard work, while the other side will just be holding the position. See if I can make sure that the bar is trying to squeeze in together. Using the hands to assist on the outside of the legs. If I feel that I need a little bit of assistance, I need to guide the leg to move in the right direction, to squeeze in the right direction. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. Last one, I'm going to squeeze and hold. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Squeeze a little bit harder. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release the squeeze. Relaxing the inner thigh, releasing the hips. I can feel that the inner thigh is a little bit more switched on, seems to be working a little bit better. So see if I can try and use it now to assist into the hip extension. So I'm going to reset the feet a comfortable distance, and then I'm going to push down through the soles of the feet, and then same as before, leaning forward into the legs to see if I can transfer as much as my body weight onto the legs. So see if I can try and lift my seat bones off the ground, and then I'm just going to sit back down again. If I'm laying down, I'm going to try and get myself up into bridge. See if you can feel any difference, as sometimes if the inner thighs have started working a little bit more, if to begin with, I might have felt that the legs were a little bit kind of like rocking and shaky when I was putting weight into them. Now they feel a little bit more stable, as the inner thigh is stabilizing from the inside. So it doesn't feel so wobbly, doesn't feel so shaky. It doesn't move so much side to side. I feel that I can control it better. At some point, it might get shaky again, but I feel a little bit more stable to begin with. 4, 3, 2, last one. And releasing back, releasing the hips, releasing the legs. So a little bit more connection through the hip. I'm going to try and do some work with the shoulder, with the arm. So I'm just going to reset the hips and back in a comfortable position. And then I'm just going to start moving the right arm. If I'm seated, imagine to be having to reach to the top shelf. So I'm going to reach with my right hand, trying to get to the top shelf and then come down. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the left. If I'm lying down, I'm going to try and raise the arms as far and reach as far back as I can, then easing the arm back. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. I'm not forcing anything, so I'm not creating pain or pinching into the shoulder. What I'm trying to see if I can picture the top of the humerus, at the top of the arm, moving into the shoulder socket. So however small the movement is, can I imagine the arm moving into the shoulder socket, playing with the position of the hand, playing with the position of the arm. Maybe if I reach out slightly, feels a little bit easier than if I reach straight forward, straight ahead. If I turn my hand in, feels a little bit more comfortable. Maybe if I turn my hand forward, feels a little bit more comfortable. So see if I can try and find the position that works for my right, works for my left side. And then once that you feel that you've got a good lift on both sides, then we're going to try and see if we can exaggerate. So on the next one, if you're seated, think of the top shelf. That's not the top shelf. There is another one higher up. Can you get to that next one along? So can I reach to the top shelf and then really trying to reach for the rest of the body too, to get as high as possible. And then I'm going to release. Then again, I'm going to get to the top shelf and then reach as high as possible to get to the next one. So see if you can try and feel a nice lift up the side of the rib cage and into the side of the waist. If I'm lying down, I'm going to try and reach slightly across, so over to the side, so that I can feel a little bit more stretch down the side of the rib cage and into the shoulder, into the arm. Then I'm going to come back to the middle. I'm going to take the other arm and then I'm going to reach a little bit more and then come back. 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, releasing the shoulders, adjusting the back, making sure that I'm back to the center, I'm back in the middle, and then changing the direction of the movement. This time I'm going to go for a nice swing to the side. So I'm going to open the arm out to the side, I'm going to swing it round and towards the head, and then I'm going to swing it back and towards the hips. And with the other arm, I'm going to do the same, and then I'm going to come back the same way. Same as you did for that front raise, for the front reach, making sure that there is no pinching or catching into the shoulder. It feels nice and smooth, it feels nice and relaxed. If I feel that the shoulder is a little bit stiff, allowing the arms to come slightly forward to the body line makes it a little bit easier. If I want to make it harder, I'm going to keep the arm right along that sideline. So if my back is on the floor, if my back is against the wall, my arm should be moving nice and close to the wall, nice and close to the floor too. Again, playing with the position of the hand to see if I can find a good combination between the top of the arm and the shoulder socket that is preventing grinding, is preventing catching and pain in the shoulder as the arm moves. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, releasing the shoulders again, adjusting the shoulders, adjusting the back. If you're lying down, when you're ready, rolling over onto your side and in your own time, pushing yourself up into sitting, finding your comfortable seated position. So leaning against the wall, leaning against the sofa if you need to. We're using the hands behind to offer a little support. Sitting on a block or sitting on a chair if you feel more comfortable, raising your hips up higher. So finding the seat bones to see if I can try and lift myself nice and tall over the seat bones. And then from there, I'm going to start opening up that front line. So I'm going to start pushing the chest forward, extending through the lower back, extending through the upper back. I'm going to look forward, look up, look back, to see if I can take the stretch all the way down the front of the throat. And then I'm going to release. I'm going to close that front line, open the back line. Tucking the chin towards the chest, feeling the back of the neck opening, the shoulders and the upper body rounding, the lower back rounding, coming forward over the legs if I want to, and then uncurling back up, lifting up, extending, opening up that front line, see if I can stretch it and lift it as far as I can. And then let it close, opening onto that back line, rounding and rolling as far down as you can. Last time, uncurling all the way back up, nice lift, rolling the shoulders back, feeling the collarbones spreading wide, the front of the chest lift in front of the throat, lengthening through. And then releasing, coming forward. One hand to the belly, one hand to the back. Take your bow, give yourself a clap or dance. Any question or anything as usual, please say. Remember, you need to unmute yourself